I'm pleased to stand to take a call on this, the Crown Pastoral Land Amendment Bill. This bill will give effect to a new rent system for Crown Pastoral leases and will amend the existing rent setting provisions in the Land Act 1948 and the Crown Pastoral Act 1998. There has been widespread support for the introduction of these measures by high country farmers in the South Island, where the majority of Crown Pastoral leasehold land is located. And so as the Member of Parliament for Te Taitonga, of course I will be listening to the views of those farmers and taking their support into consideration as to how this bill impacts on Te Waipounamu. What we know is that this bill will deliver certainty to leaseholders by creating a more objective formula tied to the productivity potential of the land. Certainty is, of course, of great importance to the economic and social well-being of the primary production sector. The particular point of interest for the Māori Party in this bill is around the fact that the leases will be set according to the earning capacity of the land at its highest and best use. Realising the highest and best use of land is an intergenerational priority for iwi and for Māori landowners. I would expect that every member of this House will be aware of just how important the concept of whenua is to the people we know as tangata whenua, literally the people of the land. And of course I would also expect every member of this House to know the tragic story associated with Māori land alienation. Māori lost land to the Crown and private owners through a wide variety of methods. Some were sold to the government for very low prices. Other areas were confiscated after the New Zealand Wars. The Native Land Court converted customary title to freehold, often leading to further losses of land. On top of this shameful history then, there is also a more recent history relating to the current condition of Māori land which may be affected by this bill. There have been many practical and statutory barriers to Māori land and iwi assets achieving productivity potential. It will therefore be important for the House to carefully assess whether the valuation formula successfully takes into account any barriers iwi and Māori may experience in achieving the earning capacity of the land. And I think it has bearing on this legislation to consider the broader context around the productivity of Māori land. What we know from the local government rates inquiry in 2007 is that the quality of Māori land is of such variable quality that it would be inappropriate for valuations for rating purposes being based on the market value of Māori land. It is important to the Māori Party that certainty is carefully partnered with fairness. All the evidence to date suggests that high country farming leaders are backing the system outlined in this bill for setting rents for pastoral leases administered by the Crown. Our particular interest as the Māori Party is to consider what, if any, impact this will have for Māori land and for iwi and Māori land owners. It is also important that the potential precedent effect of this formula is recognised. The approach for Crown pastoral land is not necessarily suitable for private arrangements, particularly those attaching to Māori land. At this point then we will support the bill at its first reading to enable the kōrero to be had and for iwi and Māori landowners to have the time to consider the implications carefully. Tēnā tātou katoa.